You know that feeling? Something new drops, and you just want to get the lowdown fast, but like properly understand.
Yeah, without getting totally overwhelmed.
Exactly. And that's what we're doing today. We're diving deep into Minecraft 1.21, the Tricky Trials update.
And it's a big one, not just minor tweaks.
No way. We're talking new structures, new mobs, a whole load of new items, even some pretty major technical changes behind the scenes.
Definitely. And to really get a grip on it all, we've pulled info from, well, all over. Watch guys like Waddles and Illyrio3 on YouTube, read through articles on B-Bomb, even dug into Reddit discussions.
So we've done the homework.
Pretty much. Our mission here is to basically pull out the most important stuff, the really interesting bits of 1.21, so you feel totally clued in without, your brain exploding.
Sounds like a plan. Okay, where do we start?
Right, let's start with something that catches players out sometimes. Pillager patrols. There's a key change there.
Ah, yes, those unexpected welcoming parties. What's different?
Well, the big thing is how Bad Omen works now. You use to kill the leader, boom, you get Bad Omen.
Right, whether you wanted it or not, often not.
Exactly. That's gone. Instead, the leader might drop a new item, an ominous bottle.
An ominous bottle, okay.
And you have to choose to drink it to get the Bad Omen effect. It puts the control back in your hands.
Oh, I like that. So no more accidental raids just because you defended yourself.
Precisely. And this bottle, it's actually the key to triggering the new harder trials, too.
The ominous trials. We'll get to those, I assume.
We will. But yeah, you drink the bottle, you get the effect, then things can happen. Player choice.
Is there a catch? Like, can you just spam them?
Good question. No, there's a 30-second cooldown after you drink one.
Okay, stops you chain triggering raids or trials constantly. Makes sense.
Yeah, a little balancing act.
All right, so from tricky effects to constructive additions, copper. Mojang went kind of wild with copper this time, didn't they?
They really did. The sheer volume of new copper blocks is, well, it's a lot. Builders gonna have a field day.
And crafting them is smarter too, right? Not just the standard table for everything.
Exactly. The stonecutter is brilliant for copper now. You take one block, just one, and you can get 4 of various things out of it, like 4 grates or 4 chiseled copper blocks. Super efficient.
Nice. Get more for your mining efforts. And there's that new light source, the copper bulb.
Yes, the copper bulb. It's pretty clever. It interacts with redstone, obviously.
Right.
Power it, it turns on.
Okay, standard.
But here's the neat part. Turn the power off, and it stays on.
Oh.
Power it again, then it turns off.
Yeah.
It toggles its state, but only when it receives a pulse while already powered.
So it remembers its state. That allows for some interesting circuits, like toggle switches leaving lights on.
Exactly. And it gets even more interesting because, copper oxidizes.
Right. It changes color over time. Does that affect the light?
It does. A brand new unoxidized bulb gives off light level 15, max brightness.
Okay.
As it weathers, slightly weathered is 12, then oxidized is 8, and fully oxidized.
Yeah.
It's pretty dim, down to light level 4.
Wow, so your lighting can actually change its intensity automatically over time. That's atmospheric.
It really is. Built-in mood lighting. And one last quick copper thing. Those grates.
Yeah. Just look cool.
They look cool, but they also stop mobs spawning on them.
Oh, useful.
Very useful. Think nether hubs, safe zones,
Right.
anywhere you don't want surprise creepers.
Nice practical touch. Okay, so copper's expanded. What about things added slightly before 1.21 but relevant now, like the armadillo?
Right, good point. The armadillo itself came in 1.2.5, not technically 1.21.
But worth mentioning.
Yeah, just quickly. It has that unique thing where it drops scutes now and then, passively. A bit like chickens laying eggs.
Oh, right. So you don't always need the brush.
Nope, just patience sometimes.
Yeah.
And those scutes, of course, lead to dog armor.
Which is pretty amazing protection for your wolf, right?
It really is. It blocks almost all damage, especially from things like falls. Makes taking your dog into dangerous places, like these new trial chambers, much more viable.
Speaking of which, trial chambers, the main event of the update, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. The core new structure. It's all about exploration and combat challenges.
So how do we find these things? Are they just anywhere underground?
They tend to generate deeper down. The
Yeah.
good pro tip is to look around Y level 0.
Okay, near bedrock level. Any other way besides just digging and hoping?
Yes, thankfully, villagers can help, specifically cartographer villagers.
Ah, map makers.
If you find one who's at the journeyman level, you can trade with them. It takes 2 stacks of paper, a compass, and 2 stacks of glass panes.
Bit of an investment.
It is. And it's not guaranteed every time you make the trade. But when you do get a map from that trade, it'll be a Trial Explorer map pointing straight to a chamber.
Okay, so trading might save a lot of digging. Worth tricking.
Definitely. Once you get there, what's it like inside? Safe to just wander in?
Well, interestingly, on Java at least, assuming no bugs outside mobs don't naturally spawn inside the trial chambers.
Really? So it's empty initially?
Relatively safe, yeah, until you activate the spawners inside. The main entrance area is usually called the atrium.
The atrium. Got it. Like a spooky lobby.
Kinda, and branching off you'll find hallways. Keep an eye out for decorated pots in those hallways.
Pots like for decoration.
They look decorative, but every single one in a trial chamber has loot inside.
Every single one?
Yep.
Seriously?
Yep. Smash 'em all. You can even find unique armor trims sometimes, only in those pots.
Okay, note to self. Break all pottery.
Eh.
Now, you mentioned spawners. That's where the trials come in, I guess.
Exactly. Trial spawners. They're different from regular spawners. They come in categories.
Oh.
Melee mobs, small melee mobs, ranged mobs, and the new breeze mob.
Different types.
Yeah, and here's a key thing. Each trial chamber structure will only contain one spawner from each category.
Oh, interesting. So the mix of challenges changes between chambers.
Precisely. Adds variety. They activate when you get close.
Okay.
And in a normal trial, they'll spawn like up to 3 mobs based on the player count nearby. Once you beat them, the spawner goes on cooldown.
For how long?
30 minutes.
30. That's quite a wait if you want another round. It is. But remember that ominous bottle.
The plot thickens.
If you drink an ominous bottle, giving yourself that bad omen effect, and then go near a spawner that's on cooldown,
It resets.
instantly resets the cooldown, yes. And it starts an ominous trial instead.
Okay. Ominous again. What makes these ones tougher?
Several things. More mobs spawn, for one.
Right.
And those mobs are often wearing armor, maybe holding weapons. Plus, projectiles might rain down or status effect clouds could appear. It's just generally meaner.
Sounds like it. Worth the trouble. Is the loot better?
Yes, the loot pool for ominous trials is different and generally better. One key drop is the ominous key.
Ominous key. Let me guess. Opens an ominous vault.
You got it. About a 30% chance to get an ominous key from completing an ominous trial.
And these ominous vaults, what's inside? Gold? Diamonds?
Better loot tables, definitely. Things like enchanted golden apples, blocks of emerald, and there's even a rare chance of getting a trident.
A trident? Seriously, like a brand new one.
A perfect condition trident, yeah. Pretty sweet reward.
Definitely worth fighting geared up mobs for. Now, are these vaults one and done? Like, I loot it, it's empty forever?
Nope, another interesting mechanic here. A vault can only be opened once by any individual player.
Okay.
But it remembers the last 20 unique players who opened it. If player 21 comes along, it forgets player 1, and player 1 could potentially open it again.
Huh. So encourages multiplayer use, or revisiting after a long time. Clever.
Yeah, it keeps them relevant on servers especially.
Anything else hidden in these chambers? Helpful stuff, maybe?
Well, keep an eye out for dispensers built into the walls sometimes.
Oh, yeah. What's in them? Arrows?
Could be anything, really.
Yeah.
Sometimes just junk, but occasionally you might find helpful things like potions. Worth checking.
Old bonus help. Nice. Okay, let's switch gears completely. From fighting mobs to automating crafting. The crafter block.
Ah, the crafter, yes.
Yeah.
Big addition for anyone into automation.
What's the core idea? How does it work?
The key thing is you place items inside its grid to set the recipe pattern, and those items stay in those specific slots. You don't need complex hopper setups to filter items into the right places like you did with old auto-crafting attempts.
Oh, that alone sounds amazing. No more hopper spaghetti just to make pistons.
Exactly. It simplifies things immensely. A really obvious use case is farm compacting.
Like turning stacks of bamboo into blocks.
Precisely. Hook up a crafter to your bamboo farm output, set the recipe, and boom, automatic bamboo blocks. Saves so much storage space and manual effort.
That's a game changer for big farms. Are there different ways to set up these auto crafters?
Yeah, people have figured out a few main approaches. You can have like an empty crafter fed by droppers or hoppers. That works, but it's not the fastest.
Okay, what's better?
The stockpile method. You leave at least one of each ingredient in the correct slots inside the craft.
Oh, like a template.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you just pump in more ingredients, and it crafts much faster because the recipe is always primed.
That sounds efficient. Any downsides? Like if you run out of an ingredient?
Yeah, if the stockpile runs out, it stops. So the sort of best method for general use builds on that. It uses comparators to read the input hoppers.
Okay.
And it basically pauses the crafter if an ingredient runs out, then automatically starts again when the hopper gets refilled. Sort of a smart auto shut-off system.
Set it and forget it crafting. Nice. Does it handle all recipes easily?
Well, recipes vary in complexity based on how many different item types they need. One-item recipes, like turning ingots into blocks, are simple.
Right.
Two-item recipes, three-item recipes. They get progressively harder to make a universal crafter for, one that can handle anything. But most recipes in the game are actually 3 types or fewer.
So a 3-type universal crafter covers most things.
The vast majority, yeah.
Sure.
There are a few outliers needing 4 types, like pistons, the crafter block itself, cake.
Of course.
And rabbit stew is the current champion, needing 5 different ingredients.
Always the complicated one, rabbit stew. Okay, so crafters are huge for industry. Now, back to combat. The mace.
The mace? Yes. A completely new weapon type. You craft it with a heavy core,
Which comes from...
ominous vaults, potentially, and a breeze rod from the breeze mob.
Okay, trial chamber loot again. So what's special about it?
Its main gimmick is the smash attack. The longer you fall before hitting an enemy, the more damage you deal.
You weaponize falling.
Pretty much. It has a base damage like an iron sword, maybe 6 points.
Okay, not amazing on its own.
No, its power is in that falling attack.
Yeah.
The first 3 blocks you fall add 4 damage each.
Wow.
The next 5 blocks add 2 damage each, and then it's 1 damage per block after that.
So there's a sweet spot for damage versus fall height. Around 8 blocks seems pretty good.
Yeah, somewhere around there gives a big boost, and when you land that hit, it also knocks back nearby mobs.
Area effect knockback.
Yep. Plus, smash attacks automatically count as critical hits, adding even more damage.
This sounds devastating. What about splatting yourself? You're falling, after all.
Ah, the clever part. If you successfully hit a mob with the smash attack, it completely negates your fall damage for that fall.
Look, goodness.
But if you miss, you take all the fall damage. So aim is crucial. It also has a cooldown, about 2 seconds, and you can't use it while gliding with Elytra.
High risk, high reward, aiming dependent super smash. Got it. How do we make it even better? Enchantments.
Yes. It has some unique ones. First is density, MACE exclusive.
Okay.
It increases the damage added per block falling.
Yeah.
Half a point per level, max level 5. It's basically the Mace's version of sharpness. You get it from enchanting tables. But it conflicts with Breach, Smite, and Bane of Arthropods.
So density for pure smash damage? Makes sense. What about durability? Heavy cores sound rare.
They are. So unbreaking is vital. Level 3 makes it last way longer, maybe 4 times its base 500 durability. Definitely want unbreaking. Get it from the table.
Crucial. Any other Mace-specific ones?
Wind Burst. Another exclusive. This one only found in ominous vaults.
Ooh, rare. What does it do?
When you hit something after falling at least 2 blocks, it launches you upwards. 7 blocks higher per level, max level 3.
What? So you hit, bounce back up, potentially chain another smash attack.
Exactly. It enables some really dynamic, bouncy combat styles, pairs perfectly with the fall damage mechanic.
That sounds incredibly fun. What about trusty old mending?
Oh yes, mending works, thankfully. Repairs durability with XP. Given the rare core, mending is pretty much essential. Find it via loot, fishing, or villagers.
Best enchant in the game, probably. Anything else? Breach?
Breach is another option from the enchanting table. Reduces the target's armor effectiveness 15% per level, max 4. More useful in PvP, maybe. It conflicts with density, though.
So choose between more damage or armor penetration?
Right. You can also put standard stuff like Fire Aspect, Smite, Bane of Arthropods on it if they don't conflict.
So a good combo might be density, unbreaking, mending, wind burst, maybe fire aspect.
That sounds like a really solid, powerful build, yeah.
Yeah.
And remember, you can repair it in an anvil using breeze rods. Each rod restores about 25% durability.
Good to know. All right, we mentioned the breeze mob getting those rods. Let's talk new mobs properly. The breeze first.
Okay, the breeze. Hostile, only found in trial chambers. It shoots wind charges.
Wind charges, like the player item.
Yep, same idea. They do knockback and a tiny bit of damage. The main thing about the breeze is its mobility. It leaps huge distances, like 15 blocks sideways, 5 blocks up.
Whoa, hard to pin down.
Very. And it's immune to most projectiles, like arrows. And other mobs can't hurt it.
Immune to arrows, so bows are useless.
Pretty much useless, yeah. Unless maybe another breeze hits it with a wind charge. But generally, you need to get close.
Yeah.
Melee works, iron golems can hit it, and it's weak to fire.
Okay, so run up and whack it or set it on fire. Got it. What does it drop?
Those breeze rods, 1 or 2 normally, up to 8 with looting the 3rd. Oh, and it has 30 health, and it's persistent, won't despawn easily. You can trap it in a boat, apparently, though it can still spin around.
Quirky. And those rods make the mace and more wind charges, right?
Correct. 8 rods make, I think, 36 wind charges for you to use.
Okay, that's the breeze. What's the other new mob? The bogged.
The bogged, yeah. a new skeleton variant. It's green, kind of mossy looking.
Where do you find it?
Swamps, mangrove swamps, and also inside trial chambers.
Okay. What makes it different from a regular skeleton?
It shoots poison arrows. They inflict 4 seconds of poison. And when it dies, it drops arrows of poison.
Poison archer.
Nasty. Yeah.
Anything else unusual?
Weirdly, yes. You can use shears on it.
Shear. A skeleton.
Shear the bog, yeah. And it drops mushrooms. At least 2.
What? Okay, that's Minecraft logic for you. A walking mushroom farm skeleton.
Pretty much.
What?
Always surprising.
Right. Now, this update also added new potions, didn't it? Splash potions with weird effects.
4 new ones, yeah. All splash potions. There's oozing.
Oozing. Sounds gross.
Mobs hit by it spawn 2 medium slimes when they die.
Ah, potential for slime farms, maybe?
Could be. Then there's wind charging. Mobs hit by this create a little wind burst when they die, knocking things back.
Okay.
Weaving. Mobs move faster in cobwebs if hit by this, and they drop cobwebs when they die.
Drop cobwebs. That could be huge. A renewable source.
Almost. You'd still need some cobwebs to start to trap the mobs, maybe, but yeah, potential for near renewable cobweb farms.
Interesting. And the last one.
Infestation. Mobs hit have a 10% chance to spawn silverfish when they take damage.
Ooh. Silverfish. Maybe less useful unless you like silverfish.
Yeah, that one seems more like a prank potion, maybe.
Okay, fascinating potion effects. Now let's shift to the technical side. Illyrio 3's video covered a lot of under-the-hood changes. Let's recap Bad Omen first.
Right. As we said, drink the bottle, 30-second cooldown. The main technical impact is probably on raid farms. No more stacking raids easily, so they might be slower or need redesigns.
Okay, raid farms nerfed maybe, but which farms buffed?
Big time buffed, yes. Witches now always drop 4 to 8 redstone dust, up to 11 with looting 3.
Always. Wow.
Makes witch farms suddenly a very, very good source of redstone. Maybe one of the best.
Huge for tech players. What about the end dimension? Changes there too.
Significant changes, especially around the main end platform where you fight the dragon. Previously, if blocks entered that central area, they just got deleted. Now they get broken and dropped as item entities.
So you can collect them.
You can collect them, yes. Probably need minecarts under there.
Yeah.
But it breaks old ways of stopping the obsidian platform from regenerating. Liquids still get deleted, though. Oh, and you could maybe use this block breaking as a blast chamber now.
So adapt your end portal block management. What about chunk loading?
Big change there, too. The main end platform and the end gateways now automatically load chunks around them.
Automatically, without a player nearby.
Correct. A 3x3 area for entities and a 5x5 area for redstone. This means end-based farms can run automatically without someone having to hang around in the end.
That's massive for automation. Any downside?
It does break void trading mechanics that relied on gateways, not loading chunks in a certain way.
Trade-offs again. What about spawn chunks in the overworld? Always a performance hog.
They've shrunk them a lot. Now it's just 3x3 entity processing, 5x5 redstone, and 7x7 for mob cap counting, but mobs don't tick out there.
Much smaller than before.
Way smaller. Should be a noticeable performance improvement for many players and servers.
Excellent news. Nether portals. Any tweaks?
Yeah, quite a few things can go through portals now that couldn't before. Sand, anvils, concrete powder, even throwing ender pearls.
Ender pearls through portals.
Yeah.
Stasis chambers in the overworld.
Exactly. Opens up possibilities. Also, TNT can go through without blowing up the portal, and vehicles with passengers like minecarts with mobs can go through. Dimension switching also feels faster to many.
Lots more interdimensional travel possibilities. Any other techie bits?
They removed overstacking unstackable items in grindstones. That breaks some niche item counters using high signal strength.
Okay.
And crystals are now immune to fire damage. Affects very few things. And just a heads up, there were reports that version 1.21.5, a minor patch, had some performance issues compared to 1.21.4 FPS drops. Might be fixed now, but something to be aware of.
Good tip if things feel laggy. Okay, wow, that was a lot of technical stuff. Before we wrap up, just a quick mention of other new bits and pieces, blocks, items.
Sure. Lots of new tough building blocks alongside the copper ones we mentioned. 2 new armor trims, Flow and Bolt, 2 new banner patterns, Flow and Guster,
Collectibles.
3 new pottery sherds, Scrape, Guster, and Flow. For the art lovers, 20 new paintings,
20.
9 new background music tracks, 3 new music discs, and of course the wind charge item itself that the breeze drops and you can craft.
So definitely something for builders, explorers, collectors, fighters, pretty much everyone.
It's a really packed update, touches all aspects.
Absolutely. The Minecraft 1.21 Tricky Trials update.
Yeah, it definitely earns the name. So much new stuff, so many changes to how things work,
A ton to explore and figure out.
for sure. So as you, the listener, jump back into your world, or maybe start a new one for 1.21, here's something to think about.
With the trial chambers pushing combat and exploration, making things tougher, and the crafter opening up insane automation possibilities. How do you think these tricky trials are going to fundamentally change the way people play Minecraft? Survival, building, community projects. What new challenges and cool innovations are going to pop up because of all this?
That's a great question. It'll be really interesting to see what the community comes up with.